Here we go, another review, and this time it's another DJI accessory. I have a Mavic Pro, and this is just a bracket for a lanyard for the Mavic Pro remote. Okay, now I paid $2, $2 shipped for this. It's super cheap. It's shipped to your house, a piece of plastic, and it's so simple. Is it worth it? I think so. I'm making this video because it's a must buy. I don't usually just bother doing videos of, actually maybe I would, of stuff I don't like. Maybe, I don't know. But I thought this thing was so nice that it's worth showing other people, and I think it's a must buy. There's many different types of brackets for lanyards that you can buy. So let's go with like the pros and cons of this. Started with the con of it. When you have your remote, when you have this stuck in and you have a lanyard attached, I mean, it doesn't come with a lanyard, but I have a bunch of these things, and you probably have a bunch of lanyard in your home, so you're paying $2 for just this plastic. Of course, they have ones that include a lanyard if you want. So pros and cons, let's start with the cons, and just say that when you have this, it's going to block your screen. So if you have a black lanyard, it's a bit better. If you or you have something thinner, maybe you would think that's better. But yeah, it could block your screen. I have found in actual use that your eyes actually compensate and sort of ignores, while it's around your neck like this way, your eyes sort of ignore the lanyard and actually you actually end up looking at the screen. Let's see, what else of the con? The con would be that if you didn't have your smartphone inside the phone in this normal stock fashion, then it wouldn't be sort of wedged in, and that's sort of the safety of it. It's actually, when it's in, it's really in. I mean, there's a bit of friction fit over here when you put in. There's no fiddling around when you install it, but you would probably want your phone to be in there putting pressure. You know, it's not like, it doesn't have to be hard pressure, but it just has to be in there, and then so it doesn't fall out. And then, because most of the actual, your tension is actually pulling up and out, and then it would really have to come over this gap and over this thing. So the chance of falling off is probably none if you have your phone that way. But if you have your phone maybe mounted a little bit lower or somewhere else, or it's like off the face, then this is definitely not the bracket for you. So that's pros and cons. That's mainly the con of it. It is you're going to have a blocking, this kind of the lanyard blocking your screen, and you also have to have your phone mounted in that traditional fashion, the way that the manufacturer wants you to mount it in. And then, so besides that, I think it's worth it. I mean, for $2, even if you think in your mind that you're not going to use a lanyard, there will be one day that you'll actually find out that you'll need it. I did my one-shot project, and that required me actually to hold the drone while also holding the flashlight on the side. So I need both hands for that. So actually, I can't hold this. So this is just dangling off my neck, and you know, I don't want the control. So when you have it on you, it's just like this way. You're not the controls are not hitting your body or anything like that. So it's confident, inspiring. So that enabled me to do the one shot. I needed to have this, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do that unless I had multiple persons. So if you had like multiple people and you had a second person catching your drone, if you trust somebody to catch and walk your drone while you're being the pilot, or you have someone else running your remote, and then you're actually catching it, and then has to be a lot of trust and choreography involved in syncing when you're trying to do it with multiple people. I was successful on my second shot just by myself. There's no communication that I need to do within myself. So this allows me to have this on the side. Otherwise, I couldn't just grab this and put it in my pocket. It might hit the controls, and then it might reactivate the props and stuff like that, or who knows what happens, which button to press, or adjusting the exposure, or doing all the stuff I don't want to happen. So having a lanyard bracket is actually very, very useful, I found. So here's the pro. That's the pro about it, is that it offers you hands-free if you're trying to be creative and doing other shots. Uh, the con I already explained is blocking, and also maybe your phone and your remote weight. It's after a while it might feel pretty heavy on a thin strap, so you have to decide that for yourself. I've seen brackets where people have huge, like like chest mounts or other kind of like things. Maybe if you're really lazy, but honestly, I didn't have to live with this thing. I honestly I had to holding my remote with my smartphone in my hands without a lanyard. It was something very easy for me, and I've done it the whole time since I started. But there's just some rare times that you just might need this. So I still like it for that reason. So there's some other ones that mount here and there. So it mounts on these two sides. So that will not block your screen, or partially block only this other sides. But what I find is for those, the reason I don't like it is that because it's not easy to put it on and off. So what you could do, and what I think I'm doing for my own procedure or my own protocol of when I'm flying, is actually I can just put this in, and I can put this around my neck, and I actually don't even have to clip it on. I can just, because there's only one side, super easy just to clip it off, and I'm flying like this way. But in some kind of emergency, if I think I'm in some kind of dynamic situation where I'll may or may not, I'm just not sure if I might need my extra hand for whatever reason. I'm in some kind of like sketchy situation, just maybe there's people around, or there's kids around, or people who might bug you, or I don't know, it can be whatever reason. If I'm not in a safe area, then I can just quickly clip it on, and then it'll block your screen then, but then I have the safety of this. So that's why I like to have this kind of like super cheap insurance. There's basically no reason not to have one of these, I think. You just order it, and it's going to come over the slow boat. Maybe it'll take a month to arrive to you, but yeah, I think it's worth it, and it'll just give you more options, right? Let me think of some other. So I know they have like the ones that mounted on the side. So the reason I didn't like that is because I just like to be able to take it off and then have no restriction of it at all. And for me, I'm always looking for speed. I'm looking for speed for launching and packing. So as simple as possible is always the best for me. So I know I'm not going to use this 100% of the times, but when I'm using it, I don't have to always clip it on. So it's nice that way. And I know there's another one that's kind of thinner, and then use a very thin string into a wider lanyard. And that one I didn't like because I can't trust that thin string. When you have like these, let me just bring out a flashlight, and then it has like one of these kind of, I never actually broke one of these strings, but when I have a lanyard like this and I have the thin string on it, I'm never thinking that I'm able to hold the weight. I'm always thinking that this is just a emergency backup. It's emergency backup to catch the flashlight. If your hands happen to slip, or you just stupid, you just bump it onto something and the flashlight flies out of your hand. I'm never thinking that I'm going to dangle it around like this way, because it's very thin. So that's the reason why. So when you have this clipped on, and you're dangling not only your remote but your phone, and that's a remote. It's like, I don't know how much. What does a remote cost? Like $300 or something like that. And then my iPhone is like something like I don't know. It's like $1,500 or something like that, or $1,200. I forget what it costs. It's freaking expensive nowadays, right? So it's like it costs as much as a MacBook, but that's a whole other rant. But I'm dangling around like probably $1,500 on. I don't want to dangle on some tiny string. So I prefer like this, just a more simple or more robust style. So I like the simplicity. I like it's very cheap. I don't have to use it all the time. I'm never thinking like I have to use this all the time, but and I'm thinking that I don't have to clip it all the time either if I don't want. So these are the reasons I think this is a must buy. I think there's just those situations you should have always a backup plan where you can just kind of clip it and have your hands free, or have one extra hand free, maybe for hand catching, and then maybe you're holding something else, or who knows what, or you need to punch a kid in the face because he wants to fly your drone. I don't know. So who knows what situation you'll be in, but I recommend this. You probably can find this on AliExpress or something similar, or maybe eBay if that's good enough for you. Like $2 shipped. Piece of plastic. It probably costs them like 10 cents to make, but who cares? They're doing high volume. Just you can do your usual search on AliExpress.com and just do the usual. Look for someone who sold a lot of them. Someone has a good review, good rating, and good reviews. I think it's not very unique, so that there's gonna be a lot of sellers selling this one. So that's why it's so cheap. High competition. So it's good for us. So that's it. Those are the pros and cons. This is one of my highly recommend DJI Accessory for the remote. And that's it. You can do all that usual subscribing and liking or disliking if you dislike it. And that's the secret. If you dislike a video, you're actually helping the video. That's the secret. So do all that stuff. Comment. Maybe if you know a better product that does maybe the bracketing, and you have a very logical reason why it's better than this, and let us know. Let everybody know. Maybe we can start a discussion. Okay, that's it. Bye.